Hello and welcome to Building the Cloud Workforce of Tomorrow with AWS. I'm Nick Lee Romagnolo, Consortium Manager and Program Manager with AWS Educate, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Antonio Delgado. He's the Dean of Engineering, Technology, and Design with Miami Dade College. Before we get started, here's a quick look at the agenda. I'm going to be describing the demand for cloud skills and the opportunity in education to provide teaching and learning resources for students to prepare them for the jobs of tomorrow in cloud. At the end of the presentation, we'll hear from Miami Dade College, and Antonio will be telling us about the amazing success that they've had in bringing cloud skills to their students and learners. Finally, we'll talk a bit about how to hire those learners and where to find this new pipeline of cloud skill talent that we're working on at AWS. Professionals with cloud skills are in very high demand. As most of you know who are listening to this, it's very difficult to find the cloud skill talent that you need to fill the roles in your businesses. 90% of organizations report severe shortages in cloud skills, and IT decision makers are having a very difficult time, with 80% telling us that the cloud computing skills they need are not available in the candidates that they're looking for. This brings us to a huge opportunity in education. In fact, it is our goal at AWS to expand and diversify the pool of cloud skilled talent. We do that through many different programs, but the two we'll focus on today are AWS Academy and AWS Educate. We work with education institutions around the world to help students build the skills they need to pursue cloud careers. At AWS Academy, they provide higher education institutions with ready-to-teach courses and learning resources designed by AWS experts. AWS Academy provides curriculum developed and maintained by AWS, gets faculty ready to teach those courses, makes sure the courses are aligned to AWS certifications, and then prepares students for jobs at the end of these courses. AWS Academy students can take courses that give them the opportunity to develop a range of skills from foundational cloud concepts all the way to higher level cloud computing concepts like architecting, developing, machine learning, operations, and data analytics. As you can see, AWS Academy and AWS Educate, which we'll get to next, have member institutions with students going through programs as described around the world. AWS Educate is Amazon's global initiative to provide students and educators with resources for building skills in cloud talent. We create pathways for in-demand jobs in technology. On AWS Educate, students can find self-paced online learning content. They also are able to get into the AWS console via AWS promotional credits. There's a job board where we can connect students who are learning cloud skills to employers who are looking to hire those students. And just like AWS Academy, the faculty members have an opportunity to upskill themselves in cloud computing so that they can teach the students the skills they need to be successful in jobs once they finish the programs that they're working on. AWS Educate does this work via a cloud competency framework. It's a taxonomy of knowledge, skills, and abilities working backwards from employers' needs. And it enables a common language between learners, educators, and employers so that students know what they need to learn in order to be successful in jobs. Employers know what students have learned, communicate with us to help us know what are the cloud competencies that students need to be successful at the end of the jobs, and then we work hand in glove to build programs that meet those needs. In order to do this well, we have learned that academic institutions have to bring leadership at 5 different levels in order to build programs that we can say are verified. The students coming out of that program will learn and understand, have the knowledge, skills, and abilities that they need to be successful in different job families in cloud computing. That includes our ability to support leadership, align curriculum to the cloud competency framework and to jobs that are high demand jobs for students, faculty development so that teachers and faculty can upskill themselves and teach the cloud concepts necessary for students to be successful, And then we engage directly with employers, that's AWS, AWS partners, and AWS customers to connect students completing their work to the jobs that you're looking to fill. We also support students in career support so that they're putting their best foot forward as they look to apply for new jobs. The most important impact we have, and the reason that we do this work, is to impact individuals to bring the opportunity of cloud computing to students first, who normally get these opportunities last. You can see some students on screen where we have shown the kind of success that they have finishing this, getting themselves jobs, and most importantly, earning their families a family-sustaining income. With that, I'm going to throw the presentation over to Antonio Delgado, who's going to tell us about the amazing work that they've done at Miami Dade College. He's one of the most inspiring educators that I know, and he's going to show us the many and varied ways that he's bringing AWS cloud talent to the community of Miami-Dade.
Thank you very much, Nick. It's a real pleasure to be here today presenting with you about this amazing opportunity to develop cloud talent and how to connect that talent. So before we jump into our case study, I want to really share about Miami Dade College, who we are. Miami Dade College is one of the largest institutions in this nation. We serve more than 100,000 students every year. And the beauty of our student body is that 91% of them are minorities. So we are very proud to be serving the minorities and to give them the chance to get a job, a high-paying job that really help them connect their career further. And we are extremely proud of developing this cloud computing degree to connect our students with that opportunity, that next step to really get them with a ticket to the middle class. That's how we call it. So I wanted to share on this presentation today how Miami Dade College developed the cloud computing journey in partnership 100% with Amazon Web Services. So we are extremely proud of doing this unique partnership since we started more than 2 years ago. When we first discovered about all the opportunities that AWS had to offer, it was around 2018, and they really helped us define that timeline that I'm sharing with you. So in today's presentation, you're going to see how we started by doing faculty training, how we developed the courses, how we opened our own cloud computing center, how we connected with high school students and summer camps, and then from there, how we launched our cloud degrees and also cloud courses for existing professionals that were not looking for degrees. Then from there, we're going to see how we connected those students, how we trained them, how we got them certified, and how we are finishing now on the first group, connecting them with jobs. So let's start with faculty training. For every academic institution, it's really hard to find the instructors of these classes, the ones that are certified and ready to teach. They're already getting really high-paying jobs. So it's really hard for us to compete with those salaries. Instead of looking for that outside of the institution, in partnership with AWS Academy in this case, we created the training opportunities for our own internal body of faculty to get them certified and ready to teach these courses. So through AWS Academy, in summer of 2018, we did the first training for faculty, and 2 years later, I'm extremely proud to say that we have got 8 AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate faculty that are getting certified to teach in the classroom, to give this content to the students, not only for their own benefit. Outside of that Solutions Architect, of course, all of them got into the Cloud Practitioner as an entry level, but some of them decided to even continue their education with AWS. So they went further and two of them got the Developer Associate certification, one of them went through Data Analytics, and one got the Security Specialty. So that tells you how engaged these faculty are with AWS once they were given the opportunity to get this training and skills. So the second step, once you have this faculty certified and ready, is that you need the courses that you need to teach, but we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to really get out of this is what we believe that we should be delivering in a classroom. So it's the opposite. We work with AWS to really get what are the skills that we need to have on each of these courses. And AWS Educate and Academy, both of them were essential on helping us create the right courses for our students, for our curriculum. And not only the cloud courses, that the 3 that you see on the screen that we've developed in connection with Cloud Practitioner or Solutions Architect, but also other courses that are part of the foundation that students need to have in cloud computing. And we call it cloudification of courses, for example, in databases, Linux, Python, security. And that's a curriculum that we're now delivering to our students. So talking about curriculum, when you have this group of courses ready to be taught in cloud, so you put them together and then you have degrees. And that's exactly what we did. A year ago, in September of 2019, we launched 2 degrees in cloud computing. The first one is a college credit certificate. It's a reduced version, only 6 courses for those professionals that are really not looking for a degree. They're looking for the skills to get into the cloud, and this is their option that they can complete in 8 to 11 months. But we also have the option of the 2-year associate degree, like any other college does. And on an associate degree, you get the skills to get a job. And that's the pathway that we're providing now for the first time in Florida in cloud computing. And this degree also started together in fall of 2019 when we started offering these first few courses. On top of that, we're now working on the next steps. As you saw some faculty getting specialties, we're also developing those advanced courses in cloud for bachelor level. And that's where we want our students to get. Once we get them to complete an associate degree, they can continue getting with those specialties from AWS, for example. So we are developing courses, we have faculty trained, but we were missing something at Miami-Dade College. And that's something that we want to share with everyone because it's essential how to connect with industry. AWS is a great partner, but we wanted to bring all the local ecosystem to one physical place. And that's what we did by developing a cloud computing center at Miami-Dade College. Not only to have classrooms, that's what we already have in the college, is to create that space of collaboration, a space for AWS clients to come and learn about the latest AWS release. Let's have meetups. Let's have training for existing professionals that want to get one particular certification. So that's the space that we created, and we are extremely happy to share that we have already offered, after a year of creating this space, multiple awesome days with AWS. Even the Deep Racer competition happening at this particular space. And having the beauty of this space at the end, a year later, we can say, despite of COVID, of course, we are not using it in person at this time, was to get those existing companies and professionals in the cloud coming to the college and then having our students networking, meeting with these companies, giving them the chance to get an opportunity to potentially get an internship or a job. So now let me tell you about the journey. Like, we launched the programs. What happened? What happened is that since September of 2019, when we launched these courses, we launched the programs, we have had 64 students enrolling at any given time during the year. Those 64 students, it's amazing for me to say that 54 of them are already AWS Cloud Practitioner certified. And that's an amazing passing rate considering that this is the first year that we implement fully the program. But even better for me is to see that these students, without any work experience in cloud, 30 of them that already got to the Advanced Solutions Architect class, 30 of them are already certified. So in the first year, we have already proven that this partnership with AWS is producing exactly what we wanted to produce. Students that are well-trained, but also certified to get that cloud job that they are looking for. Now, out of those 64 students, I can tell you that we have 14 students that have already completed. Most of those students are already finding employment in the cloud. And that's something I'm going to touch in a few slides coming now. But first, let me tell you about how we connected with high school students. When we all know about cloud, we know what it is, we know what it does. But when you ask a high school student, what is cloud? They say cloud is what we have on the sky. They really don't know what cloud computing is. So we decided that even before launching this cloud degree, associate degree, we had to connect with high school students by explaining them. We connected with high schools that were already having technology courses, and we invited these high schools to send us the students. We created a summer camp, 2-week summer camp, totally for free for 30 high school students. And in only 2 weeks, we give them this Cloud 101. What is amazing that in only 2 weeks, we were able to get 21 of these students AWS Cloud Practitioner certified. That was an outcome that we really didn't expect. And even better for us was that 22 of those students decided to continue in dual enrollment courses at Miami-Dade College to continue learning about the cloud. So, a year later, we got back to, they continued dual enrollment courses. We got to April of 2020. what I can tell you is that 10 high school students, dual enrollment students, are already AWS Solutions Architect certified. And we're talking about high school students. So this formula works, even for high school students. And we're extremely proud of that. Now, when we talk about degrees, cloud computing courses, and the opportunity that we have created, we at some point realized that we have the knowledge already. And then COVID happened. We saw the impact on the local community, many people losing jobs. So we decided, why don't we offer this knowledge that we have gotten from AWS? Why don't we offer these courses for free on these particular 2 certifications so we can get most of these people back with jobs? And some of them brand new to cloud, others already were in IT and working, so it was easier for them. So we developed 2 courses through continuing education at no cost. One was 4 weeks, only for the AWS Cloud Practitioner. We had 54 students going through these courses during the summer, 45 of them certified. Great. They have a chance to get into the cloud, or at least to get the fundamentals on how the cloud works on AWS. And then we have a more advanced course, 8 weeks, that you, of course, needed to have certain foundation. We had 17 students in that course, 8 of them already AWS Solutions Architect certified. So this is great information, like great. We have a program that works, but we can also benefit our local community. We can also give a chance to those students or those professionals that lost their jobs and want to jump into the cloud or really learn from scratch. We have a formula that works. And why? Because of this partnership with AWS. So we got to the last point of the whole timeline that I showed you before. You have the students, you are getting them ready, you're getting them certified. What is the next step? We need to connect them with jobs. And that's the opportunity that when we started the program, yes, there is a lot of job opportunities, great. But then we got to a hiccup when we started getting the students to graduate. And it was that most of the companies, like as you know, when you look for talent, you're looking for someone that is not only certified, but someone that has some years of work experience, usually 3 to 5 years. What is a challenge here? We're talking about students. We're talking about college students, and most of them don't have those 3 to 5 years of experience. So what we decided to do was a roundtable with all the local companies hiring talent in cloud computing and really give them an overview of the program that we developed in partnership with AWS, but also about the talent that we're producing versus the gap on the skills that they were looking for. So what we were able to get from that roundtable is a connection to connect those companies with capstone projects so the students can work in real projects, what they are learning in the classroom, so they can add that those years of experience becomes more of real projects that are working as part of the classroom. And also internships for the students to show that they're ready, and from there to get a full-time job. And then based on that, 4 or 5 months later, we were able to see the first few companies believing in the students, believing in the product that we were offering, believing in the talent that was coming out of the classroom. And we had companies that at some point decided, really, the partners that trust us and said, we're not going to require a bachelor degree, we're not going to require 3 to 5 years of experience, we're going to get one of your students and see how that works. What happened is that company went from 1 to 3 students automatically, because when they were interviewing the candidates, said, this is exactly what we were looking for. Let's change the rules from our HR department. Let's bring those students. Let's give them a chance. And that's what is happening already with 3-5 companies here locally, and that's what we're planning to expand. So what I wanted to conclude is that this partnership with AWS and Miami-Dade College as the local institution serving the community really works to change lives. And we're doing that all the way from training faculty to getting students certified to placing the students. And AWS has been an amazing partner doing that. Now, our next steps is how can we engage more companies to really get the talent that we're producing? How can we close the gap that exists in cloud computing? How can we create new training based on the needs that those companies have, based on the needs that you have? And how can we continue increasing the pipeline of high school students, of college students, and existing professionals getting the skills that are needed in the cloud? So thank you very much for the opportunity, Nick. I'm passing back to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Antonio. We're so grateful for your work. We find it inspiring every day. It's amazing what you've done for high school students, what you've done for students in your community college. Connecting those students to jobs is truly going to make a difference in the Miami-Dade region. If you're interested in looking for entry-level cloud talent for your open roles, we have job boards you can see on the screen where you can go to sign yourself up, get yourself registered, and find the talent coming out of the programs that we're serving all over the world. And if you're interested in AWS Academy or AWS Educate, you can also find those resources by going to the links you see on the screen. With that, thank you very much. And I'd like to close by saying, we just want to say thank you and extend our gratitude. The work we do is just supporting academic institutions and faculty members, teachers, in bringing cloud competencies to their students, in teaching and modernizing the curriculum that they've already taught, and in connecting students to jobs once they have learned the cloud content that we are supporting them in bringing. The educators that we work with have had a very difficult time all through this pandemic, and we're really inspired by their work. So thank you very much, and thank you for coming to this presentation on AWS Educate, AWS Academy, and the amazing work at Miami-Dade College.